our next job here will actually be it's not a repair this time, it's actually a conversion of Epson L1800, which is popular lately, most popular printer for DTF prints and techniques. So we got this printer to convert it to one of those, so you can now, we will now show you how that is done by us. There's a couple of ways you can do this conversion, but you can see this is a completely new one which was sent to us to make the conversion. So okay, I'm gonna have to put the box down so I can lift the printer up. Okay, so we have all this tape around it to secure the printer as much as possible. You have to remove all of those. This front cover we won't be needing, so that's gonna be the first thing we're gonna move. Couple of things you have to do, and we will also tell you why, because there's a lot of tutorials on the YouTube and other stuff which just say what to do, and they don't say why should you do it. Some say why, but if you're doing something, you need to know why you've done it. So the L1800 has its own system, doesn't have to be bought separately. So that's a good thing. A lot of this tapes around, so I'm gonna move all that. Take it off. Okay. I think I got all of them. So yeah, we said we're gonna move the front cover for the paper. That's gonna be the first thing we're gonna do. Yeah. And so we can start with removing the wheels inside the printer, and there's a couple of ways you can do that. Some just move the wheels from the carrier, some move the whole carrier, there's not even a metal part inside, some leave a couple of wheels inside. And how we do things is we remove the wheels with the plastic carrier, but the metal carrier stays inside. Why do you need to remove the wheels from the inside? Because the principle of DTF ink works like the ink has to stay wet as long as possible in order to give you the time to pull the image through the powder, and so that the powder could stick to the image. And if the ink stays on the top of the film you're printing, and the film is also type of plastic, so there's no soaking up of the ink in the paper, then the wheel runs through the when the wheel runs through the wet ink, it leaves marks and traces on the whole image. So we don't want that to happen, and what we have to do is to remove these wheels. And how we do it, we remove it all. We don't leave inside the side wheels to hold the film better inside, because there's no need to do that. Why? Because if you have a slide table that will come from the front, and if that table has an option to align the height with the wheel on the exit, you will see that later on when we remove this cover. Then the film is standing all the time, standing straight. So there's no need for side wheels to hold them if you have a possibility to align the slide table with the film that is printing and exiting. So if it does stand straight, then there's no need for something to hold it from left and right, and that will give you even a bit more of a couple of centimeters, not much more space to print something on. But when we say slide table, some might ask, why do we need a slide table? Because if the film, when it's printed hangs from the printer, it does make how should I say, it's having a hump inside the printing place, so the film is lifted closer to the head, and we don't have anything to hold the paper down because we've removed the wheels. So we need to have slide table to hold the paper, the film straight, so we won't be having the hump, and the hump won't get close to the head, so the image is gonna get smudged if we don't have the slide table. So that's, we can now start to disassemble this. Actually, you have to disassemble all the covers to get to the wheels inside, and it's similar like 1300, 1400 or so, but with a few minor differences, because this printer already has pre-installed this inside. So you can remove this 3 screws on the back, because we're gonna have to make a hole for the waste ink bottle in this case. Alright, we're gonna have to put those back, and we have to just on this side connect to the keyboard also, then we get back to the side panels. Okay, we have to disconnect the keyboard in order to lift the cover up, and we also have one screw inside the keyboard box. I'm gonna have to unscrew that too. Okay, so what's next? I think that we can now move the side covers, and in order to move the side covers we have to remove the back cover also. Right, side covers go. It's a little tricky part, but you need to release these three hooks over here from the front side and then pull it up. Yeah, there we got that one, and the right side is a bit more difficult because it has some holes for the sys system to get in, so we should be putting all this aside like this. We got two screws, so when you lift the sys you have two screws inside for the pipes of the sys system. Couple of covers over here that need to be removed also. Okay, it's a bit crampy, so it does take a little bit of yeah, from below. It's easier if you pick it up from below. And you also have two screws over here beneath the handle for carrying. Let's move those two. All right, and I think we could, oh yeah, we have to release the front side. It's a bit tricky if you're doing it the first time, but if you break something with this hooks over here, it's not a problem because there's so many screws holding this on, so it's not a problem if you break something during the installation. This side is very tricky to remove. It's holding pretty well. I think I did unscrew all the stuff, but it's still not budging. Now let me see. Maybe there's should be budging, but it's not. I think these hooks are holding it. Yes, it's got 3 hooks, and even if the one is holding a little, it's gonna make this more complicated. Okay, so now we do have two more screws inside when we remove the cover, also from the other side, and each side has one more screw on the back. So I'm gonna have to unscrew all this stuff, and you have longer screws and shorter screws. Longer screws go to the main cover, and shorter screws are mostly going to the side covers. But if you mix them up, it's not a big problem. Both of them are holding well. So the same thing is with this other side. 2 on the front and 1 in the back, and there's one more here which we've already removed, so we should be having no problem lifting this main cover up. Like this. And so, where do we need to focus next? We're trying to reach the wheels, so the only thing that's standing still is this plastic part, and it also has a couple of screws, one on each side here and 2 in the middle. So we're gonna move all that, and should be the whole part should pop out after we unscrew that. All right. So these two screws are with higher density of threads. That's because they are meant for metal, and this with lower density of threads are meant for plastic. So you got this piece off, which we're gonna put back later. And the easiest way to get to the wheels, you could be moving them also like this now if you use a bit of a force, but we don't want to force anything or get something twisted with the carriers, and so we want to do a proper job. Maybe it's gonna save you a couple of minutes here, but it's better not to force anything if you have other options how to make things easier. It will cost you some time, but that's why you have this tutorial, to keep the things as simple as possible. So you have two screws for this part over here, and you should be moving this metal part that the pipes of the cis are installed on. Couple of screws only, nothing special. So I think you don't have to unscrew all of them. Let's just see. You have to unscrew the first one and the first one on this box on the left, and I think the last one over here. That's gonna be, let's see if there's something else to be yeah, maybe one more over here. I think it's this one. Yeah, so you see now you can remove this whole carrier, and it's an easy access to the wheels over here. So all you have to do now is just stick something between this plastic part and they pop off instantly. So this is the easiest way. It does take maybe a bit longer, but you're not gonna twist anything and you're gonna do a proper job. So now what you have to do is just, when you've removed this 3 wheel carriers, you're just gonna have to put everything back as it was without those wheels. So we got these 4 wheels to the front and these 2 to the side. Okay. Got those 2 more on the right. That's it. We're gonna need to put this piece back also. And when we're done doing that, a couple of pointers also what's good. Something is not catching right over here. Maybe the threads are a bit off. It's catching in the upper hole. This one's good, all right. Okay, so we got that done. You could move this sponge over here because it's just gonna cause you problems later on. All right. So let's see. Those were the wheels. So now we have to make exit for the pump to the outside wasting tank. And how do you do that? You have a pipe over here. Let me just turn around the printer so you can see it a bit better. So this is the pipe for the wasting, and it's connected to this rubber piece is connected to the plastic part that goes to the soaking cushions beneath on the bottom of the printer. So how do we do that? We're gonna use this pipe that goes to the waste ink because it's pretty sturdy plastic one, and also we're gonna use this carrier for the pipe. Yeah, so we need to get it out of the carrier and also try to pull it out if we can. This is a bit more complicated. It's not necessary to do this like this, but later on it's somewhat beneficial, and also not everyone has a spare pipes inside the house. So if you don't have any pipes, you can use this one, and it's a bit complicated to get out, but I'm sure you're gonna get the hang of it. So you have to pull it to the front, and now you can pull it from the inside. All right, yeah, so we got that pipe out, and what we want to do next is we want to place it back to the exit. Like this, and you need to put this holder on if you want to be completely secured. It's not necessary, but if you want to be 100%, then you should push this pipe through the carrier again when it's standing, but other way around. It was other side was standing over here and the pipe was connected. We're just gonna pull the pipe other way around through the carrier. Let me just it's a bit tricky because it's tight, but we will manage it. or maybe it could be easier if we went from this side, but it can be done from this side also. So now if you have any if somebody pulls or something like that the pipe from the outside, you won't be tearing this pipe connected to the pump or disconnecting it, but you will only have the disconnection from the outside where you can see it, so it's the best thing to do. So now you see this is where the side panel usually goes, so we have to have a hole somewhere over here besides this how should I call it, pillar or something like that, and somewhere on the right of this plastic part over here, and like somewhere in the middle of the whole thing, somewhere in the middle over here and to the right of this pillar. So